guys, it's Eva, and today I'm going to do the Guilty Reader book tag. Okay, so question number 1. Have you ever regifted a book that you have been given? No, not that I've been given. I have no, I don't even know if I have gifted a book. I give a lot of books away, but I don't know if I've ever gifted a book that I even have read and personally owned. I might have. I don't think I have, though. Number 2, have you ever said you read a book that you haven't? And of course, yeah, I was a kid in school and in college. I don't know about so much in school, and well, probably in high school I did. Oh yeah, I did. I remember a few times, I don't remember what books they were, but I remember one teacher was like, we were like in the upper classes, so all we read was like magical realism for a semester, and it involved like 100 Years of Solitude, The Tin Drum, and Midnight's Children, and 2 of them I really liked, but I could just not get into The Tin Drum, and so that one I definitely took sections out of the book and claimed like I read it or whatever, and it was like a note card turn in for that one, so it really didn't matter. But I don't know, other than saying to the teacher. And in college, yeah, there were some very dry books assigned to me between history or political science. I mean, some books are really intriguing, but some books were bad. And just like, yeah, so I definitely faked through some of those tests. 100%. I wouldn't say it outright was like, hey, yeah, all the time I say I don't read books because way too many books in the world for me to read them all, and I get that. I've got that since I was a kid. 3, have you ever borrowed a book and not returned it? I think, yeah, once. I remember one girl earlier on in college, I hadn't read like One Piece of the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and she gave me like the full collection because she was like, yeah, I'm done with it, and gave it to me, and I always felt bad that I like had it, but after that I had moved and it moved around with me, and it was kind of weird that I just had that collection. I felt like, and then in college, actually I think it was like a book to the library, like I moved right after I graduated or something, and like I literally didn't get my diploma for a while because I owed the library 2 books. I ended up paying for them, but yeah, I don't think I ever kept other library books when I was younger or anything like that because I always had the time, even if they were super overdue, I always had the time to return them, but I did have to pay for 2 in college. Have you ever read a book series out of order? No and yes. So if it is a book series, if it's fantasy or anything that actually needs to be in order, timeline, chronologically, no. But if it's a romance series and they're like, oh, these characters are all based in this town, or these characters are all kind of like this, I read them out of order all the freaking time. It's just whatever book I've picked up and what other book I find intriguing, and then I'll go back and read some and I'll be like, oh, that's why they mentioned this person so much in that other book, but it's never really one that's like, you need to read that story before you read this story. That like has never really happened to me in a romance, I don't think. And I don't know if there's any other genre that like allows you to do that really. I don't know. But I'm pretty strict about it. Like I won't even read like a prequel. If an author put it out later, then I will read it in the order that the author actually put them out. But yeah, I think so. I'm pretty strict about that, or else I don't want to just dive right in. I don't know how people can do that. Can you imagine just like starting in the middle of like the Game of Thrones or something? That'd be crazy. Have you ever spoiled a book for someone? Oh, like wholeheartly. Not a book per se, but if people go see a movie that I've seen the book, I often spoil the movie. And people that I'm close to, I talk to books a lot about, they cut me off. They're like, okay, you can't tell me anymore. So I'm sure I do. I don't mean to. It's really hard for me to give like the intriguing parts away sometimes that are like, this is why you need to read it. So I do to somewhat, not always. Definitely if you're going to see a movie with me, I'll try and like really be good. But sometimes in the movie I'll be like, this didn't happen. Have you ever dog-eared a book? No. I feel horrible when I do it. I've done it a few times in my life because I was like desperate and I was like, can't lose my place. This is a really thick book, whatever. I just had to do it, and I would do it and I'd be like, I can't do this. And I'd go back and like try and smooth it out. I think I've only done it once or twice. So I guess technically I have, but it's just, I can't do it. Not with good conscience. It's just like, it's like inbred out of my brain. You can't do that to a book. And that's like my books are never like worn or torn or anything. I never really have a lot of creases in my books because I really try to treat my books really well. Like I won't shove them in anywhere they don't fit. Have you ever told someone you don't own a book but you do own it? No. Because usually if somebody's asking me, they want to borrow it, or I want to own it, or I don't know, something like that. So no. So number 8 is, have you ever told somebody you haven't read a book, but you have? No, I've never done that. I don't think. Even like an embarrassing book, they'll be like, yeah, I read it, because people know generally that I read a lot. So yeah, I haven't done that one either. Number 9, skipped a chapter or a section of a book all the freaking time. If books drag out, if I know what's going on, if they're predictable, I will skip them. And especially in romances, I'll be like, I want to know what's happening. Even in really good fantasies, I have been known in the final book to like skip to the end partway through, because I just can't handle it. I want to know what's going to happen. Even though the book's really good, I try really hard the whole time. I'm like holding the pages. I'm like, don't skip. But there is one particular series that I really like and I recommend, but it was the Black Daggerhead Brotherhood series, but partway through in the series, I don't think it's in the first few books, she starts writing from like the evil guy side, and I have skipped literally all of that. Sometimes I read through it because I forget I'm reading it, but it's always boring. It's always not necessary for me. I don't need to know when they're going to attack or what's going to happen with them. I don't want to know. So I always skip through it. Sorry to that author, but that book series is like always. Number 10, have you ever bad-mouthed a book that you like? Ooh, yeah, but not purposely, I guess. Like, I can get pretty critical on books, but actually I would recommend them, or I like them, or even love them. But I can get critical on what a character does or something like that. Like, all the time I'll rate books 5 stars, but I'll be like, gosh, this one character really pissed me off, and she did this, this, and this. But I think that's just when you're fleshing things out and discussing things. I think it just kind of happens naturally, and people probably get the wrong impression. Sometimes I do it in the little reviews. I do these simple, quick reviews, and I think I do it in that because I'm trying to point out to you what I thought were flaws, but it's just sometimes it gets carried away, and I'm like, ooh, the book isn't bad. Actually, it was good, or it was really good, or I loved it. So I do get carried away by critiques, I guess. That's it for that book tag. That was a really simple, easy book tag. And if you guys like books, or if you like book reviews or TBRs or any of that, please subscribe below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!